Hello everyone, welcome to the Alteryx Designer learning session. My name is Payal and I'm going to help you guys with how to perform analysis on given dataset using Alteryx. So in this case, we are taking help of customer transactions data file, and based on this data, we are going to analyze shopping habits of customers. What are the two main criteria to study this? The first one is number of visits of customers into the stores, and the second one is spending amount, that is how much customers have spent on shopping. Using this information, we are going to categorize customers data into two categories, high and low. Now let's see how to perform this analysis using Alteryx. The very first step is to extract the input data file into the Alteryx. Let's see how to do that. Go to In Out. You will look for Input Data tool. This tool will help us to bring the data file into the Alteryx. Drag this tool into the white canvas or working panel. You will see that when we dragged input data tool, the configuration window changed. So whenever we bring new data tool into the working panel, the configuration window changes. Now inside the configuration window, go to connect a file or database, drop down, file browse, go inside the location where Alteryx is installed. Inside that, samples, sample data, and look for customer transactions file. CusW transactions represent the customer transactions data file. Click open and you will see there are two options, output and output dollar. So what do they represent and what is the difference between the two? Whenever we need the complete access of data, we always select the file name with dollar inside that. Since in order to perform the analysis, I want complete access of data, I'll go with output dollar. Click OK. You can see that the input data has been loaded into Alteryx. In the preview window, you can see 100 customers. At the end of the preview window, you will see two important columns, visits and spend. These are the basis of our analysis. Now, we wish to compare the number of visits of customers to the average number of visits. So how to calculate the average number of visits? There is one tool inside Alteryx called as tile tool. This tool calculates the average, finds standard deviation, creates group, and assign group numbers to all customer records. Let's see how to use this tool. Go to Preparation, look for Tile. Drag this tool inside the working panel so that it is connected to the input data tool. You can see that the configuration window has changed. Firstly, we want to analyze the customer's data based on number of visits. We'll continue with visits. Run the workflow and let's see what output we have got. You can see there are two columns at the end of the output window, tile num and tile sequence num. What is the significance of these two columns? Tile num represents the group number that tile tool has created and assigned to all customer records. If you look at the values of tile num, that is group numbers, it starts with 3 and goes up to -1. That means there are total 5 groups based on the number of visits of customers, where group number 3 represents the customers with maximum number of visits and -1 represents the group of customers with less number of visits. Tile sequence number is the sequential number assigned to all customer records. In order to perform an analysis, we don't need tile sequence number. Also, to make our data more presentable and easy to understand, we wish to change the field name of tile num and we'll give the name as vgroup or visit group. So this is how we have analyzed our data based on the number of visits, and we have created groups based on the number of visits of customers. In order to make changes into tile num and tile sequence number, we'll make use of select tool. Drag this tool inside the working panel and connect it to tile. Under field, all fields have been listed. Uncheck tile sequence num so that it is removed from the output. And for tile num, under rename, give the desired name as vgroup. If we run our workflow, we can see that the changes that we have made using select tool have been reflected. Now we wish to perform analysis on the spending amount of customers. To perform that, we'll need another tile tool. Drag this and connect to select tool. This time we'll select tile field as spend. If we run the workflow, you will see that there are tile num and tile sequence num columns. This time, tile number represents the group number of customers which are divided based on the spending amount. If we look at the values of tile num, that is group numbers, it starts with 3 and ends with -3. That means there are total 7 groups based on the spending amount of customers. We can see that the data is less evenly spread based on the spending pattern than the number of visits. 3 represents the number of customers or the customers who have spent maximum on shopping, and -3 represents the group of customers who have spent less compared to other customers. Also, there is only one customer inside group 3. Tile sequence number is again the sequential number assigned to all customer records, and we don't need that in our analysis. So we wish to make changes into tile num and tile sequence number. So to perform that, we'll again make use of select tool. Inside field, uncheck tile sequence number. For tile num, inside rename, give the name as sgroup. If we run the workflow, we can see that the changes have been made. Now, we have divided customer records into different groups based on the number of visits, that is V group, and based on the spending amount, that is S group. Now we wish to categorize customers into two categories, high and low. So what is a condition or what is a criteria to perform this? If the cumulative value of V group and S group is greater than 3, we'll tag those customers as high, and all the other customers will be tagged as low. So how to put this condition into the given data set? To do that, we'll make use of formula tool. Drag this formula tool and make sure it is connected to select. Inside the output field, we'll insert or create new field called as value total. This field will represent the cumulative value of V group and S group. Now the customers should be divided as high and low. These high and low values are text fields. So the data type double will not be able to contain those because double represents numeric data fields. So to store high and low, that is text fields, we'll use string. Make sure that you give proper data type to all the output fields. In order to put the condition or apply the condition, go to functions, go to conditional and look for first condition. This is the exact condition that we wish to implement, where C represents the condition. As I stated earlier, our condition is V group plus S group greater than 3. Let's insert this condition. Go to variable, go to existing fields, double click V group, add, double click S group greater than 3. If this criteria is fulfilled, we wish to tag those customers as high, and all other customers will be tagged as low. Now remember that whenever there are text fields, we always want to wrap them with quotes so that they'll be displayed as the text fields. So we have wrapped text fields high and low with quotes. Now if we run our workflow, we can see that based on the values of V group and S group, all the customers have been assigned value as high or low. So this is how we have performed analysis on customer transactions data file and divided customers into two categories, high and low. And this is how we have performed analysis on shopping habits of customers using Alteryx Designer. Thank you.